All right, this is lesson 2.8, chapter 2, lesson 8. It's the last lesson in the chapter. It's about solving percent problems. This is this I find to be a more difficult um, thing to do. So you really got to think it out, and I'm going to help you to try and figure out how to make sense of it. So 30% or 30, the 30 number 30 is 50% of what number? Okay? Whenever I see the word is, I'm thinking of equals. Okay? And then when I know something is 50% of something, when I think of, I think of multiplication. So as I look at this, like how it's worded here, I do 30 equals 50% times some number. Okay? So I just figured out I have to figure out what this number is. This number times 50% is going to get me 30. So 30 is kind of, if you're looking at it as a problem, 30 is the equals. It's what you have at the end after you do this problem. Okay? Couple different ways to do this. I'm going to show you on this side of the board 2 ways to do it when the percent goes evenly into 100%. Okay? So this way, I have 2 lines exactly the same in length. One is percent and one is number. Okay? So if I have 0% here, 0% of something is always going to be just 0. Okay? Over here, this is going to be my 100%. That's everything. Okay? This, I don't know what it is yet. 50% of what number? This is the what number. This is what I got to figure out. But 50%. So, 0, I know 50% is right here. Because 50 is half of 100. Half of 100. So it goes 0, 50, 100. All right? So now 30, the problem tells me 30 is 50%. So 50% is 30, right there. Okay? So whatever I did from here to here, I added 30. 0 plus 30 is 30. I just got to do the same thing here. 30 plus 30 is 60. Okay? So my answer is 60. 30 is 50% of 60. Which, if I do 60 times 50%, which I can't multiply it by a percent. It's much easier for me to take this percent to a decimal. 1, 2, that. Okay, 60 times 0.50. Let's do that. 0, 0, add my 0. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 6 is 30. Add it up. 1, 2, 1, 2. My answer is 30.00 or just 30, which is what I already knew. Okay? So this is the way to check your work to make sure you have the right number. All right, let's do the next one. It says 60 is 20% of what number? So I have 60 equals 20% times what number? Okay? So 20% goes evenly into 100. So I'm going to do the same thing I did before. Do a nice number line here. This is my 0%. This is my 0 number. This is my 100%. This is what I want. Okay? So 20%. So I could do 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So everything I go up, it has to be even amounts. So I go up 20%, another 20%, another 20%, another 20, another 20, until I get to 100%. So these are even increments going up. Now I'm just going to put my line here for the numbers. The problem tells me I know one number. 60 is 20%. So 20% is 60. Now I just go, what did I do to get from 0 to 60? Plus 60. So plus 60. That's going to get me 120. That's going to get me 180. Another 60 is 240. Another 60 is 300. Okay? You see how I knew this one? Then I was able to figure out the rest of them. So, 60 is 20% of what number? 300. So, I think the question mark is 300. I'm going to put it like this. Now, if 20% times 300 gets me 60, I'm good. I'm going to change this into a decimal. 1, 2. Okay. 0.20 times 300. Let's do it. 300 times point, and I actually only need 0.2. The 0 can roll off. It's 20% still, but it's just 0.2. Okay. 2 times 0 is 0. 0. 2 times 3 is 6. Come out 1, go in 1. My answer here is 60, which is what I have here. So 0.2 times 300 equals 60. 0.2 is also the same as 20%. So 60 is 20% of 300. All right, so this is one way of doing it where you do a line and the percentages go evenly into 100. It works with like 10. Any number that goes evenly into 100, you can do it this way, percents. Now, some numbers don't. So let's do it by proportion. We'll set up a little proportion here. 75 is 15% of what number? Okay, I have this is here. 75 equals 15%. Okay, so of what number? We know 15% is always a number out of 100. Okay, so then I'm going to make this into a fraction. I just don't know what that is. Okay, 75 is 15%. Okay, but if I have 100%, what number do I have here? I don't know. Got to figure that out. Okay, and how do you figure that out? You got to figure out, what am I doing to go from here to here? Now 15 goes evenly into 75. So it goes in there. 4 would be 60, 5 would be 75. So times 5. So then I got to do the same thing here. Times 5. 100 is 500. So I'm thinking 75 is 15% of 500. So I think it's this. 75 equals 15% times 500. Now, I'm going to make this into a decimal. 1, 2, right there, 15. And I'm going to do 500 times 0.15. If I get 75, I got the right number. If I get anything other than 75, I did something wrong. So let's do this. 500 times 0.15. Don't worry about the decimal right now. I just do the multiplication. 5 times 0, 5 times 0, 5 times 5 is 25. Add my 0. 1 times 0 is 1. 1 times 0 is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. Add them up. Okay, 7500. Now I have to worry about the decimal. Take it out, 1, 2, put it back in, the same number, 75.00, which is 75, which is what I wanted, okay? So you set it up as what your answer is, 75 equals 15%, and you do 15 over 100. So if 75 is the 15%, the 100% is what number? And for this one, it's 500. If I have everything, I have 500. Okay? But if I just have the 15 of the 100, I have 75 of 500. Okay. Let's do one last one. A little tricky. I hope you're doing okay with this stuff. 7 is 35% of what number? So equals, change colors here, that one's kind of fading. So 7 equals 35. 35% is the same as 35 out of 100. Now, if 7 is 35%, what would be 100%? So I'm going to put it here. I want it to be equal. I just don't know what that is. Okay? So I got to get this to equal, so 7 is if I have 35%, but what if I have 100%? If I have 100%, what's my number? I got to figure out. So what is going on from here to here? So 35 divided by 5 gets me 7. 100, doing the same thing on the top and the bottom, 100 divided by 5 is 20. So if I have 35% of a number, I have 7. If I have 100% of a number, it's 20. So I think this is 20. Let me do my check. 7 equals 35% times 20. Okay, now I'm going to make this into a decimal. 1, 2. So I have 0.35 times 20. Let's do that. I should get 7. Anything other than 7, I did something wrong. So I'm going to do 20 times 0.35. Don't worry about my decimal, just do the multiplication. 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, I gotta move my 20 over here. Now, I add my 0. 3 times 0, 0. 3 times 2 is 6. Okay. I go 0, 0, 7. So it looks like I have 7, 0, 0. Now I gotta put my decimal back. So I take it out, 1, 2. I put it back in 2. 7.00, which is what I was looking for. So 7 is 35% of 20. Okay. We're going to practice this a lot. I do this on the guided practice. I want you to really watch that guided practice video. Give it a try. Sometimes when you have a percent, it goes evenly into 100. You can put it in a line like this, and you can kind of just set it up like that visually. Sometimes 15 doesn't go evenly into 100, so then you have to set up a proportion. 75 equals the 15%. 100 equals what number if you have 100%? And you got to just figure it out that way. Okay? Go ahead, give it a try. We can talk more as you're working on these. And so look at the guided practice, watch that video, and then try the independent practice, and we'll see how you do.